Rusty. This is a story about Rusty the little diesel engine, who is best friends with Skarloey and Rheneas. Rusty works so hard looking after their line that sometimes he forgets there's work to be done at the quarry. One autumn evening, Rusty returned late to the quarry. The fat controller was cross. "I'm sorry, sir," said Rusty. "I was helping Rheneas and Skarloey on their mountain line." "Their line is in bad condition," the fat controller explained. "Mending it takes up too much of your time. I'm going to shut down the line." Rusty was very upset. "Rheneas and Skarloey will come and work here at the quarry with you," said the fat controller. He had made up his mind. The line was closed down the very next day, and Skarloey and Rheneas arrived at the quarry to work there instead. They worked as hard as they could, but they missed the forests and hills along with their mountain line. But most of all, though, they missed their passengers. Rusty could see they were not happy. The next day, the fat controller came to the quarry with some important news. "We're going to be blasting here for the next 2 weeks," he said. "It won't be safe for you. I will find work for you to do somewhere else." "Please, sir," said Rusty, "may we go back to the old line and try to repair it? Then Rheneas and Skarloey can do their old jobs again." The fat controller agreed. "But you must be back at the quarry in 2 weeks' time," he warned the engines. Rheneas and Skarloey's line was in a mess. It was covered with rocks and branches, and the tracks were broken in several places. The 3 engines set to work straight away. "There's no time to lose," said Rusty. When Elizabeth, the vintage lorry, puffed past, she thought Rusty's plan to clear the tracks was silly. "What a waste of time," she sniffed. Skarloey was sad. "She's right," he said. "We'll never get all the work done in 2 weeks." "We can't give up," said Rusty. The days passed and still the line was not fixed. The engines worked harder than ever before, but time was running out. "It's no good," cried Rheneas. "There's too much to do," moaned Skarloey. But Rusty would not give up. He had a very clever idea. The next day, Rusty saw Elizabeth trundling by. "If only we had a lorry to help us," he said loudly. Elizabeth stopped. "I couldn't possibly help you," she said. "I'm a quarry lorry." "Well, we need a very special lorry," Rusty teased. "One that can haul and pull very heavy branches." "I am a very special lorry," snorted Elizabeth. "I can haul and pull," she said proudly. "So you'll do it?" said Rusty. "I will," smiled Elizabeth. Elizabeth was as good as her word. She hauled rubbish and pulled branches from the main line. She helped remove a fallen tree from the cattle crossing. The little lorry puffed up and down, helping the engines until all the work was done. Together they had finished the repairs with a day to spare. "Thank you, Elizabeth," said Rusty. "We couldn't have done it without you," said Rheneas and Skarloey together. "You are a very special lorry." "I know," puffed Elizabeth importantly. Rusty's crew finished sweeping up until everything was spick and span. The line had never looked so splendid. Then Rusty's driver telephoned the fat controller, who promised to inspect the line the next morning. When the fat controller arrived, he was very pleased. "Well done, Rusty," he said, "and well done, Elizabeth. We will reopen the line straight away." Rusty was very proud. Rheneas and Skarloey were very happy too. They were looking forward to seeing their passengers again. "Now you'll have time to work at the quarry for a change," the fat controller told Rusty. Rheneas and Skarloey went back to work on their old line, and Rusty went to the quarry. Rusty and Elizabeth have become firm friends. Each time Elizabeth visits the quarry, she greets Rusty with a friendly toot toot on her horn. She thinks Rusty is very special too. The end.